Hello, beer lovers. Mike, the Upside Down Beer Guy. On today's edition of the Upside Down Beer Guy, I'm going to be reviewing Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. No surprise, it's a Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. It's made by pFriem Family Brewers. They're located in Hood River, Oregon. It comes with a nice ABV of 11.2% and 40 IBUs. Now, there's no mistake what you're going to get from pFriem. They tend to name their beer after the style that it is, but that's okay as long as it tastes good, right? Anyway, the 2024 iteration of this came in at 10%, was very good. The 2025 has a little bit more horsepower, and it was aged in bourbon barrels for just under a year, and it was brewed with Chinook hops and a touch of lactose. I'm not sure I like the sound of that lactose, but we'll see. Lactose generally amps up the sweetness that I'm not a fan of. All right, it's not as dark as it's not really black like a stout. It's more of a very, very dark mahogany, and the head is more of a tan and a burnt caramel that you would normally get with a barrel aged stout. But it's all about your taste, right? Okay, you got bourbon, nice roasted malt, some dark chocolate. Caramel, vanilla, some char, and I'm picking up a little bit of cherry on the end too. That's surprising. The first thing that hit me was vanilla, followed by the bourbon. And I thought the lactose was going to kill this to make it sweet. But there's minimal sweetness here, which I am a big, big fan of. I hate sweet stouts just to amp up the ABV. Brewers kill it when they do that. Malty base has some good roast to it, bringing some dark chocolate nuances. A little bit of bitterness on the end too. I guess that's why it's got a 40 IBUs. On the end of the last sip, just before I took this one, I got a little hint of coffee. I'm not a fan of coffee in my stouts, but it's very subtle and it's not overwhelming. So kudos. All right, that's odd too. Right before I was about to take this sip, I got a little hint of coconut, which I was not expecting at all. I'm not a fan of coconut either. As long as it's subtle like that, I can get around it. Okay, here's a little history detour from the nerd in me. Imperial Stouts are essentially the same as Russian Imperial Stouts. What we know as Imperial Stouts a little bit more hoppy than Russian Imperial Stouts. Russian Imperial Stouts actually came first, but they were not developed in Russia. They were developed in London for export to Russia in the late 1700s for the elite of during the reign of Catherine the Great. History class dismissed. I have some sun coming in at an angle that I normally have. And when it hit the glass as I was taking a sip, a nice amber hue came about. I don't know if that picked up on camera or not, but it's actually pretty cool. Anyway, the caramel and vanilla become more pronounced as you go along. Some good barrel developments too. Some good barrel develops along the way too. Got some nice oak, a little bit of char. Build up to the finish. It's full-bodied, not as full-bodied as some other more prolonged barrel aging. So it has a nice, smooth, almost creamy mouthfeel. I guess from the lactose gives that little bit of creaminess. But pFriem makes some pretty good beers. This is pretty good. That little bit of coffee and coconut kind of killed the vibe for me a little bit. I'll give it a 50-50. Anyway, if you see some pFriem Family Brewery beers, get them. They're good stuff. Thank you for joining me on the Upside Down Beer Guy. Let's look for beer. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Until next time, cheers, my fellow Xanthophiles.